states of the Federation. Now, like I always say, it feels like as government, every other time that we elect people to represent us, those who are elected to represent us fail. They forget the primary responsibility, the real reason why they were elected. Now, the major across the entire world, the globe, the number one priority of every government is the protection of lives and property.
Yes.
And the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, stipulates that already. That, the welfare of the people, and the welfare would include security. And we keep saying this. It's quite unfortunate. Now, talking about the, Abuja-Kaduna highway, this is not the very first time.
It is not. It is not.
We had like 4 years ago in 2019, we've had several kidnappings and incidents on that road. And over the years, we've also seen, I remember the time where you had Hakim, who was the former the IG of police at the time. There was a deployment of, tactical team on that particular road.
Yes.
And according to the Inspector General of Police at that time, it was supposed to be a permanent thing. So we're supposed to have, they had constituted a technical team that's going to be permanent on that road.
But invariably now, there's no permanence on that particular road, because from the look of things, but security personnel were deployed to that particular road. When they felt that the situation had come down to some extent, they had to retreat. And right now, that particular road is actually becoming a menace to the extent that people now even want to use alternative routes. That's the train. But not so long ago, also,
and that's why people blame that on the train.
Was also, attacked as well.
So the point now is this: we say that government is a continuum. We say that we ought to have continuity in government. So I have been, a bit worried that if government over the years have actually reacted to, the issue of the Kaduna Highway, because this is not the very first time we're having that incident on the road, and then how come it's not sustained? What's because government should be, there should be some element of sustainability in governance and all of that. So it's quite unfortunate. Now, it brings us back to the fact that, yes, we're talking about Kaduna. What is the state government doing? And you want to begin to say, okay, is it a federal road or not a federal road? But the point is, security is everyone's concern.
Yes,
and it should be, the concern of every other person. But another issue, again, that some persons will probably have raised over the time is, if you look at us with the fight against insecurity, you find out that we lack intelligence. I was looking at the videos over time. I started, doing a review of some of the videos that have actually surfaced on that road, because I haven't applied that road in a very long time, and I'm not sure I want to,
it's not even that if you can avoid it, it's best you do.
No, that's what I'm saying. But you find out that you have bushes to the left. These are deserted areas, right? And it's expected that even if you want to have, now, if you're going to have some, I'm not a security expert, by the way, but I'm just saying, common sense.
Like some
because you can't even have the checkpoints on the road, because to the left, to the right, you have, there are bushes all over. So you should devise another means of tackling these people. They can't be smarter than the government.
No, they can't.
They can't be smarter than the Nigerian government and the Nigerian security
architecture.
And
again, so yesterday it was an attack along, the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. How secure are other roads? Because we are approaching the Yuletide, and a lot of people were doing serious traveling this period. Lots of people who cannot ordinarily afford that, to take flights, would also want to use the road, because a lot of people, like my Igbo brothers too, want to travel down Easter to commemorate the holidays with their loved ones. So how secure are our roads? We have to talk beyond that, just securing the Kaduna-Abuja highway. Let's talk about right now about how all of the roads across the expressways are actually secure, so that Nigerians can actually want to decide to travel. Sometimes you just want to go the road trip, and just see things and explore and see the beautiful vegetation, to see how Nigeria is blessed with a vast, agriculture and all of that. But then again, you'd think twice to even take or embark on such journeys, because you might not even meet, your destination at the end of the day.
Well, like I mentioned earlier on, security is not just limited to one part of the country.
No,
so the issue of security cuts across the entire. Let me give you a little, a little brief. Now, when I was still back then in, the university, I schooled in the University of Calabar. And usually my family is based here, in Lagos. And, I stopped traveling I stopped traveling via road when I was in my 100 or 200 level. I stopped because of, my 1 or 2 encounter with, armed robbers on the road. It was really scary. Trust me, you don't even want to be in that situation.
All right.
And so, I'm just saying that the roads are not safe anymore.
They're not. All right, we understand that there is a soundtrack to that particular report. Let's just take the SOT and we'll come back and talk some other trend and stories. Stay with us.
This is life kidnapping. This is kidnapping life in broad daylight. Thank God for our life on the 21st of November 2001. Thank you, God, for saving us. Nigga, my Jesus. Thank you, God. Life now. Correct. You can hear the gunshots.
God is faithful.
Can hear the gunshots. It's leader.
God is faithful.
Correct. You can hear the gunshots.
God is
You
faithful.
can hear the gunshots. Scaring them away. You can hear the gunshots. Live. Live gunfire going on.
God is faithful.
Live gunfire going on.
Yes, sir. To the past somebody.
They don't carry. They have kidnapped some people. What happened? La ilaha illallah. Oh God. Let's ask some people. So someone has been shot. He's oh shit right inside his car. Oh God. He's happening life on our way back. Oh shit, he's been shot. He's been shot. Hold on. Individual. Individual. Yeah, individual here. God. What did I tell you? Individual. Hey, it's Gabosimu.
They carry our friend.
Hey, they don't carry our friend.
Yes, your friend. Hey, Jesus.
I tell you, say this car.
Hey.
You said me also like motor one.
Jesus,
They carry our friend. Oh God. Oh God of creation.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, no, I just leave here before. Then if any people,
Oh God.
There was some harrowing scene there, travelers being attacked along the Kaduna-Abuja highway just yesterday. We just really need to put our act in order and ensure that Nigerians can actually, move around the nation, without having to think about if they would actually get to their destination. Another trend than just, this time around is China issuing a travel advisory to their, to the citizens, advising them to avoid some risky areas in Africa. Specifically, they mentioned Kenya. They also mentioned Nigeria. That mercy, the thing that they are pointing out right now is that their citizens are actually being kidnapped in some of those,
Before you can actually achieve XYZ, you have to take care of XYZ. Now, security is a very huge subject. It encompasses the entire economy. If you can take care of the security situation of every country, then you have actually solved, almost half of the problem of that country. Because first of all, this would attract foreign investors.
Yes,
people can actually come to your country and want to do business, right? They will feel safe. Local investors also. People can want to move from particular. Right now, do you know that there's some areas that you would not want to go to? There are some states you do not want to go to.
Ordinarily, as a Nigerian, I would not even want to travel to some states in the federation.
Because of the concern.
Those coming, from outside the country.
So it brings us back to one and the same thing. Now, unfortunately, because I was going to say unfortunately, I mean we are the giant of Africa, but we should be leading by example. It's quite unfortunate. I'm feeling that at this point in time, we should have been able to address the issue of security in Africa so that we can begin to, have a trickle-down effect to other.
Yes, because at the end of the day, Africa is actually losing. Everyone knows how big and how massive, the Chinese, contribution is to the developing world. And Nigeria, for instance, actually is one of the beneficiaries of such, investments, into Africa. Because if you look at our rail system, if you look at our roads, most of the contractors the federal government use, they are from China. But if there's people who come, freely, willingly to Nigeria to want to come and invest or to want to come and work in the country are not safe and they're being kidnapped for ransom and for other purposes, at the end of the day, our economy will be the worst hit. At the end of the day, our foreign reserves will also dwindle over time. And before we know it, we'll still be talking about huge debts in future.
And so we're just still saying one and the same thing at the end of the day.
Yes.
I'm hoping that, government across the board will pay attention to this particular issue. It's quite unfortunate that the government of, President Muhammadu Buhari that came into power one of the key issues that this government said that we're going to address is the issue of security. But right now, I really don't know. I can't say I really don't know where we are. The security situation of the country is nothing to write home about.
No, it's not at all. It's nothing to write home about. But the issue for me is that over time, we have talked about security, all of the issues, what we need to do proactively. It's as though all of this input, all of this advice, have fallen on deaf ears, as if we know what to do, but we don't have the willpower, or the body language is not actually showing that we want to actually get or just nip this particular issue in the bud.
So it just brings me back, to some of the conversations I usually have off air. And because it's tiring. This is not the first time we're talking about. Because we're going to be having a conversation about, the
security on the show today. Yes,
it's not the first time this is happening. It's not the second time. And Nigerians are very intelligent people. We can't say we don't know. We can't say we don't have the resources. But like you rightly mentioned, the body language. Are we willing to, for whatever reason? It could be for personal interest and what have you. But the point is, we have refused to actually address the situation the way, to step in and do what we should do. And so what do you expect? You can continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result.
Not at all.
It will be tagged as, madness. And that's the case with us. So I really don't know. It's quite tiring. So we would say, change the security chiefs, change all of this, change all of that. And we know exactly what we need to do. We know exactly. We know the people.
Why we're not doing
we know the people. We know the people who are committing this crime. Oh, sure, we know the people who are committing this crime. Because you need to understand that this crime and all of this, the kidnappings
by humans, and of course,
these people did not fall from the sky. Exactly, they didn't come. They're not spirits. They are human beings. They are our brothers, our sisters, our uncles. They are our neighbors who are perpetrating all of this evil, and we know them. And for some reason, we have chosen, to be part of, that conspiracy and keep quiet. And even when they're being reported, nothing has been done.
Arrests are not being made at the end of the day. Even if arrests are made at the end of the day, nothing, no persecution, and that they just go home and they are, reintegrated into the society. Another sad story that is trending online right now is the popular Nollywood actor who just died at the age of 63, popularly known as Baba Sowe. I don't know how much you follow Nollywood. I don't know how much you follow the Yoruba movie space, but he is actually, was actually a very popular one, and he played some sort of comical roles. And sometimes I try to understand, those things that he says, in his part, because sometimes they're just like completely adrift from the main theme of the movie. Sometimes it brings some sort of comic relief, to the movies that he has done, and that he will be actually sorely missed. He died at the age of 63. But I saw a video online where his son was lamenting that not much was done, so much for the dad, and that he was sick, and they could not really get all the helps that they were seeking.
So first of all, I can't say that I have really been
That's
very...
him.
Yes, of course I know him, but I can't say I have been very abreast with that genre of film, right?
Yeah.
But of course I know him. I've actually seen him in one or two of those films and comic, and he would be greatly missed because he is we have to speak in the past now. He was a great, fantastic actor. He contributed a lot to the industry, and he will be sorely missed.
Yes.
For me, I'm beginning to think that it's time that we begin to celebrate people. Usually we get to talk about people when they're alive and all of their achievements. And that's why I'm really glad that during the Afrima, was it during the Afrima or one of these awards? I can't remember.
Olu Jacobs was given a lifetime achievers
Olu Jacobs was actually, recognized because I feel like the culture for us is we get to celebrate people when they're no more. So we get to tell them beautiful stuffs about themselves and how much they have done and how great. But I'm thinking that it's important that we imbibe the culture of celebrating people while they're alive and let them know how much they mean to us as a people, as an individual, as a state, as a country, and what have you. Because when the dead is there, dead. They're dead and gone,
nothing you can
and
do
they have
about
no
it.
business
Even if you
with
want
the
to
leaving.
remember them,
But
even
of
if you
course,
great
we will
memorials,
always,
they cannot even
recount the
enjoy
fact that
them.
he's done great stuff. Talking about the fact that he didn't really get help, I have seen that has become a pattern.
A trend in Nollywood.
It has become.
right.
It's not even a trend. It's not limited to Nollywood. So I mean, some days back you saw Baba Fryo, right, ranting. He went on this very
Just saying the entertainment world, that is, yeah, in Nigeria
rants
here.
talking about
About
the
the
fact that
250
he
million
wasn't-
largest and how Davido did not remember him as it is.
So, but I'm thinking that first of all, this body should be able to come up with some form of welfare. I don't know how to say it.
I was going to say that because
You know,
they have several guilds. They have the AGN, Actors Guild of Nigeria. They have ANTAP that actually controls the Yoruba movie and all of that. But they should have some sort of maybe medical insurance, so these actors who have actually contributed to our entertainment, can have some sort of, succor, to fall back to when they are not as active as they used to be, and that maybe when they are all falling down, to sickness or something, so they can actually have some sort of a
no, but
fallback.
apart from that, I'm also thinking that it's important that we pay attention to our health.
We
Now,
should.
which is very, very
In
paramount.
time as well.
As long as you are leaving, you're making all of this. You should pay attention to your health. Everyone is on this table. No one is actually left out. Because I feel like we live in a climate where we don't pay attention to anything.
No, we don't.
We
Most
don't pay
times we
attention
just-
to what we eat, the
No,
things that we
don't.
drink.
It's when it has actually come,
So
when
all
push
of
has come
this
to shove, that we now want to
accumulates.
start running helter-skelter.
So for the leaving, it's important because I feel like we need to constantly leverage on people's experience. When you
I
say
agree. I couldn't agree more.
Experience is
It's
the best teacher. I'm thinking that we need to move away from that experience. If we look at the trend right now, we look at the pattern, everyone falls ill. I'm not saying, it's normal, but if we begin to pay attention to the leaving, pay attention to our health while you're alive, as long as you're making that money, you need to also understand that health is wealth, and without your health, there's no way you're going to become a great and fantastic actor or broadcaster as well. So importance to the health. And before me, I just drift a little bit with the fact that we seem to have some sort of that entitlement mentality. So it feels like, people should come to my aid. I'm not saying people cannot be generous. But let's not make it
You're
look like.
responsible for your own life.
So, but before now, so you would also say that we have support system, right? And that's why I constantly talk about the support system. The family is number
That's
one.
why
and then
I
you
talked
have the
about
church,
a
you have the
backup
organization,
plan, some sort of
you have the
insurance,
guild,
savings,
and all of that.
Yeah. All right, that's as much as we can take on top trending on the breakfast this morning. You could actually just go online and follow all of those stories and make informed decisions for yourself. We'll be taking a break, and when we'll come back, we're looking at what the papers are saying this morning. To join us again.
Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. Nimasa This Week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. Statutorily mandated to ensure that there is regulation and promotion of matters affecting our waters. NIMASA bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime.